Hey everyone, this is J-Dog here, and I'm here to give to you another video. A while back I did a video about this website right here, Rock Hall Rotten Tomatoes. It's basically a website where critics and everyday moviegoers and television watchers will basically, after they have watched a certain film or watched a certain television show and are either happy with it or unhappy with it, and they wanted to basically give a review or rate a certain show or film, they will come to this website and they will give that review and that rating, and then it gets tallied up to a couple of scores, one for the critics and one for the everyday goers. As you know, there are certain upcoming films and television shows, some that we will support and some we will not. For example, as you know, tomorrow is going to be the release of the Proud Mary movie. Okay, you can see right here. That's just an example of projects, movie projects, or television projects that are coming out. The Proud Mary movie will come out on January 12th, that's tomorrow. So, and if anyone's going to see this movie, I hope you do, because I'm actually planning on seeing this film. And then after they see the film, hopefully they will give it a review, if they have not given it already. Some people have already given reviews. Here's what I'm talking about. So although the critics have not given their review yet, there are several people, audiences, have already given their reviews. And they even gave it a rating. These are examples of 5 people giving the rating of 5 stars. Here's someone who is giving the rating of just 1. Matter of fact, I'll be talking about this, going back to this later on, as I will also be talking about the scoring system of Rotten Tomatoes. So let me go back here. Basically, hold on. So basically, I'm about to go back. I figured that if we're going to, like, say, support films like the Black Panther, or support television shows like Black Lightning, as you know, these are other upcoming projects. One is a film that will be released on February 16th. The other one is a television series that will actually premiere this upcoming Tuesday at 9 o'clock on the CW network. So, you're probably wondering, why did I decide to go to Rotten Tomatoes? Why did I decide that I want to start putting reviews on certain films and shows, rate them, and then hope that they get put on one of the scores? Well, that became because of what happened with this film right here. This film is called Bright. Another film was Star Wars The Last Jedi. And then there was a television series called Star Trek Discovery. See, this was a show that was on a streaming system called CBS All Access. So yes, they do shows from streaming sites like Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that too. As you can see, there's 2 different scorings. The tomato meter, which is for professional critics who come from magazines, newspapers, critic shows, the news, and then you have the audience score, which is basically the everyday moviegoer like myself, or a television watcher, also like myself, the average Joe and the average Jane, who just likes or dislikes film or shows. They want to come on Rotten Tomatoes and put their reviews and give what they want to give, like a 5-star, or a 2-star, or a 3-star. So basically, there was a number of incidents where somehow, as you can see, critics loved the Star Trek Discovery show. At least 82% of the critics. That means there was a bunch of good reviews to give it this symbol right here called the Certified Fresh. I will tell you more about the Certified Fresh later. Only 55% of audiences, of television watchers, supported the show, gave it an approval rating, meaning those are the percentage of people that are on the Rotten Tomatoes viewing this show, giving it reviews and giving it ratings that like the show. And as a result, it ended up with this bucket of spilled popcorn. However, something different happened. Bright. Now, our critics, however, panned this movie. Only 27% of them supported this movie, liked the film. However, it ended up with a splat. That means a lot of bad reviews were made. And then you have the audience, who disagreed with the critics. They gave it 87% of moviegoers or this average James and Joes were able to give the film positive reviews and with this red bucket of popcorn fill. There were a number of incidents that they talked about where the critics disagreed with the audience or the audience disagreed with the critics. Let's talk about Star Wars, for example. A lot of critics supported the Star Wars film, the new film. They loved it. They loved the action scenes. I actually saw this movie. Loved some of the action scenes. However, there were a number of audiences who disliked the film. Only 49, now there were people who did like the film, but only 49% of those people who support the film showed up to Rotten Tomatoes to give their review, and there was a whole bunch of people who hated the film that they gave their reviews, and basically it only reached the 49, which led to this bucket of popcorn. There was even a report that said that there was possibly trolls that were setting up Rotten Tomato accounts. This was rumored, and basically just wanted to put a bunch of bad reviews, and then Rotten Tomatoes will count them, and this is the scores that happened. So basically, not everyone was a big fan of the Star Wars film. Some people even had reasons why they said they hated the film. Of course, some people hated it because of the fact that a lot more diversity was on the film. That was actually talked about when they said about the trolls. That some of the trolls who wanted to make up Rotten Tomatoes accounts so they would be allowed to put their reviews and ratings were probably the people that didn't like the fact that most of the good guys come from different groups. Like example, Finn, who happens to be one of the recent new characters of the Star Wars franchise, and the actor who plays Finn happens to be black. There's an Asian actress who's playing the character Rose. She's one of the new characters of the Star Wars franchise. And of course, the main hero is a white female. So the people who probably put a bunch of negative reviews were probably sexist too, who don't like a female lead being the main hero. And then of course, most of the bad guys were white men. So of course, a lot of racists and a lot of sexists who happen to be white probably dislike this film due to certain reputations. The thing is, if people were to come on Rotten Tomatoes and just make accounts, which, by the way, they were allowed to do this. They were allowed to do this because, well, first of all, because anyone is allowed to sign up at Rotten Tomatoes and put their reviews. This wasn't just to only just be for critics. This was to be for everyone to be allowed to put their review. What do you think could happen when a film like Black Panther comes out, or a film or a television show like Black Lightning comes out? If there are a bunch of haters of those projects, were to be the only people on Rotten Tomatoes, they would probably put a bunch of bad reviews, and they would be you have scores like this, or even lower, unless, of course, and the only way that can counter that is if a bunch of people who love those films or those shows, which will also make accounts, and many of them as possible will give very positive reviews, so that we would have scores like, for example, this. Now, this is where critics and movie viewers agreed that they liked. Now, maybe that one percentage is higher than the other one, but it shows that both agreed they love the movie Coco. Or we could have scores like this. Now this time it was the critics who bashed this movie. But it was the fans who were willing to fight back against the critics and support the film by putting their review, saying, this movie is good. Why are you critics criticizing it? And like I said before, Coco was the time where both agreed. What I'm trying to say is, if we're going to really support certain films and television shows we like, we don't just support them by just watching the show. I mean, we have to watch the show in order to support a show. Of course, we have to financially support a movie by buying tickets so that the movie can make money. We can also critically support the film as well, or the television show, by giving our reviews and ratings. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the scoring system of Rotten Tomatoes, which I am about to pull out just as soon. Yeah, sorry about that. Just as soon as I right here. Here we are. What you're looking at is the tomato meter and the audience score. Basically, this is what is the results for when you, after amount of viewership of reviews and ratings are put in. Now these three are for critics, and these are for viewers. This plus one is something different. This is for a project that is yet to be released, but people either want to see it or don't want to see it, so this plus sign will come up. Something I will talk about later. If a movie or television show got 75% or higher from the critics will give it a certified fresh. If a certain amount of critics were to show up at Rotten Tomatoes and would give it lower than 75, but yet higher, 60 or higher, they would just get this red tomato. Now there have been some occasions where maybe 80 or 90% positive reviews still got it just fresh. But then is the 59%. Anything 59 or less gives it from the critics, give it a splash. These are for the critics, the professional critics. Those are the guys, like I said before, that do the television and television critic shows. Basically, there are newspapers, there are magazines, and they will have this, and it's called the tomato meter. The everyday Joan and Jay who just goes to the movies, just buy a ticket, but yet want to put their review, will have this popcorn bucket. If a bunch of reviews that were screened positive, mostly 3.5 or higher, if too many reviews cause the score to get a 60 or to 100%, they will get this red bucket of popcorn full of popcorn. If too many bad reviews, usually less than 3.5, and the score of the audience score was like, let's say 59 or below, just like with the tomato meter score, they will get this green bucket of popcorn and basically spill. Now, if you happen to watch this video and want to basically, put your own review or your own rating, here's what you'll need to do. First, you will need to sign an account. If you don't have an account, you just go here to basically sign up, and then you'll probably get your username. If you already have an account, like myself, basically, I'll just put the email and then put my password, and basically that will activate my account, and basically I'll be able to rate my movie. So basically what happens is, after I do that, well, then that's where these three come in. This basically right here is a rating system. First, you have to sign in to your account and all that. Matter of fact, let me sign in my account right now. First, alright, I am about to sign in my account. You will not see my password. They are very protective with the password, so you will not get to see them. And voila, this is my account name. Joshua Hamilton is my real name, for people who are now knowing that. And this is basically my account. Now, right here, this is basically the plus sign. This is for the people who want to see the show. If I have not decided on a review, or if a show has not been released, for example, or a film has been released, for example, Pride Mary, basically I would put down want to see this movie, or want to see. I will post that, and then maybe I'll put some things like, I can't wait for this movie to come out, I really want to see it, and they will be tallied here. This will only appear until the movie is released. By the way, the Pride Mary movie will be released tomorrow. Might By the time some people are watching this film, the movie may already be out. This little here is basically it's the X sign. This says that we're not interested in this film. Basically, they will post that, probably give a review to why they're not interested with this film. And then basically it will get tallied into the scoring, depending on if they're a critic or a everyday moviegoer or a television watcher. And then basically, so far, only 90% of people want to see this movie. It probably is not at 100 or higher. It's probably because not everyone has put their score up, and maybe some people have put this one down. They tallied this up, and that's probably the percent what's led to the percentage. Now let's talk about a project that is related, like for example, Star Trek Discovery. Now, if I want to put down an amount of stars, I will come here, and then I'll just put down whatever stars I want. If I want to put down full 5 stars, I put full 5 stars. If I want to just put just half a star, I'll just put half a star. 5 stars is the highest. That usually means that this is the best to you, in your opinion. You really like this show or this film, and you really want to see it. After you've seen it, you were amazed. So now, optional, I decided I wanted to put maybe say something like this. This was a good show. Then I'll post it, and then we'll review it, and then eventually it will go to the scores. If it's see, this is just looks like some of the episodes. Basically, these are individual episodes, and each episode had its own review. And this is mostly by critics. Then you have here are the actual professional critics. These are some examples of magazines and newspapers that they work for. And basically, they all too have given this tomatoes. And because of this, since there was a bunch of, and maybe, okay, you get one unhappy camper. Basically, because there was a whole bunch of reviews, it got basically to a certified fresh. But because of probably one or a couple bad reviews, like the one you just saw, for example, this one right here, probably is why the score is not at 100% or 90%. So it got 82. Now, probably you're asking so basically, I put down 5 stars, so basically, eventually it's going to be tallied into the audience score. Now, I'm not sure if it will raise the score up because I'm just one person, or it will mostly because I gave a 5-star, this will be among the scores that will try to maintain or keep it from getting lower or maybe go higher. The reason why I get 55% from audiences is, well, let's look at here at the audience score. See, this right here, not many positive reviews that are above 3.5. Now you do have a couple of positive reviews, like this one right here, because it's higher than 3.5, and then hopefully eventually they will put my score up in here. I actually already put down some reviews for some projects, and they've actually tallied. Matter of fact, let's show one right now. Hold on. And face to face, because I like to using multiple tabs to show up the different pages. See, this is my review right here. Now let's see, and I say I like Taraji P. Henson as an actress, so I'm willing to give this film. Now, the critics have not put their score up yet. This is how movies are scored. It's just this. Now, tomorrow, when the movie is released, the critics' scores will probably come in. But some of the audience scores have already came. Now, let's look at this. This guy says he's not interested. So, whatever. And this guy, he's only give this a 1 star because he or she would probably give this basically a 1 star because he or she probably did not like the film. But probably there was maybe one thing they liked, so they probably gave it a star. Now the rest are 5 stars. Matter of fact, this line right here, it got tallied. And these are just 3 other people. Now, by watching 4 5-star scores, 1 1-star score, and 1 not interested, and let's just say those were the only scores that ever showed up, so I could probably see an audience score like right now in its probably 80s or 90s, which will give it the red bucket. Yeah, probably will get the red bucket because majority of those reviews, and if they happen to be the only one that ever show up, were good. Now eventually, of course, more will show up, and that will, if there's a lot more good reviews, the score will probably go up. Now, this is a movie. Now television shows, just like when you saw Star Trek, you saw that they rated different episodes, have its own separate. What about seasons? Let's look at an example of a television show. This particular show is called Blackish. The average tomato meter score is 95, which is a good review. The average audience score is 68. But you probably want to know how we got that score. Now, this is a television show. So, Blackish has been around for 4 seasons. And according to this, each season has its own separate review, critic scores, or audience scores. Let's look at, but yet it was able to tally 68 and 95%. Let's look at the very first season. When the first season came out, this right here, critics gave it 86% of critics approved the film, the television show, and it got it certified fresh. Only 67% of audiences that basically showed up on Rotten Tomatoes with their scores gave it 67%. Now this is just for only season 1. But yet, we saw that this score right here is 95% by Rotten Tomatoes critics and 68% by everyday moviegoers. Television watchers. I guess we could say moviegoers too. So the question is, why is that why this one season has a different score? You see, first of all, this is the maximum score. This represents the scores of all 4 seasons tallied up like a grading system. You know, just like a teacher will grade you, you get maybe a couple A's, and then you maybe get 1 C, and then when that happens, your maximum score is going to be like a B plus or a B minus. Let's look at season 2. This one got 100% by critics. 79% of audiences support the film, so it actually boosts up. Now you would figure that would boost up the score from 68 to maybe a little bit higher. And you would probably think that this 100% would have boosted up to a higher score. Well, on season 3, they never gave a score. They basically, it's like they never turned in their assignment. But the audience did, and only 76% of them supported the show, season 3. And that's probably why the percentage lowered by 3 points. You see, you just saw that 68, but still, you had 67 for season 1, 79 for season 2, and 76 for season 3. My question is, should this been like maybe 80, low 80, mid 80? Why is it at 68? Let's go to the final one, season 4. And what do you know? While Blackish critics still gave it 100%, they looks like they realized they need to turn their assignment. They gave it 100%. The audience, however, did not like what's going on with season 4. Only 51% of people was able to support it. And because, probably something I probably haven't mentioned, or have, because it's below 59, it got this bucket of popcorn, green with popcorn spilt, or eaten up. That 51% score could also explain why the maximum score is at 68. And the 200s and the 86 and season 3, the critics not giving a score is probably why the maximum score that the critics gave it is 95. Hopefully you're understanding how the scoring works for Rotten Tomatoes. Black Panther, let's see. Let's look at Black Panther. Hold on a second. Let's look at Black Panther. So far, no scores yet because the movie is far away from being released. 99% want to see it. Let's go back. That brings us back to the want to see and the not interests. Basically, 99% of people want to see this film. The critics probably have not received their scores yet. Yeah. And then the audience, let's see about the amount of people that got this. Now, yep, there's, we see mostly wanna-sees and maybe a few not interested. Well, what do you know? This is not me, by the way, because my last name is Hamilton. I actually saw my score the other day. This is probably someone else named Joshua. And basically, he does not like the film. Let's look at my actual score if I can find it. I sworn it was somewhere. Hold on a second. They probably haven't counted my score yet. Or maybe I haven't put one up yet either. See, this is me right here, by the way. See, Joshua Hamilton. So don't get confused with that guy, Joshua 20% C. That's probably just some guy who's not interested. Or some one of them trolls that I talked about earlier in the video. So don't worry. Matter of fact, you saw that some people already gave their scores before. And let's just say here's the film. Looks good. Yeah, that other Joshua, I don't know what his big deal is. But me, I'm already going to give this film a 5 stars. Just remember that. Let's look at the Black Lightning show real quick. Let's see. Well, so far, 85% of people want to see it. Oh, and here's my stars. I gave it a 5 stars. Says this show is going to be good. And look, the critics are already on the right track. They're giving it 100%. What I'm trying to say is, this could be used as a maneuver to help show support to shows like Black Lightning and movies like Black Panther to make sure that they become very successful. Matter of fact, Proud Mary comes out tomorrow. I keep bringing up Proud Mary. Matter of fact, let me look for Proud Mary. Tomorrow, when Proud Mary comes out, this could be our first test. Let's see how many people who are watching this video are going to come to Rotten Tomatoes and give their reviews on the movie. This could be our first test to test out my strategy. As you know, a lot of people are questioning the advertisement for Proud Mary. I kind of just wanted to bring this up. I was looking at an article saying, why is Proud Mary not being advertised highly? Now, it is being advertised, probably on BET, it's been on the internet. Social media has actually done a better job promoting the film than television. But if we're really going to support this film, not only do we support this film financially by buying tickets and seeing the movie, which I plan on seeing this weekend, we should also do this. Give it positive reviews if you really like this film, and make hopefully for the best. I hope this video gave you some knowledge about certain things about Rotten Tomatoes if you're interested in using this. There are other sites and other ways to give critical reviews about films and shows. I hope this could be used to our advantage. I am planning to see the Black Lightning show this Tuesday. I am planning to see the Black Lightning film this February. And I'm going, after I see the film, well, I've already put my reviews and ratings for the shows. You can actually edit it and change if you can also change them if you want to. There are ways to change and edit reviews. But so far, I'm ready for anything. If you happen to see this video, please share this video. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family members. If you are a person who does YouTube videos or any kind of social media, posts videos on any kind of social media, and want to talk about this and want to try to use this strategy as well, go ahead, talk about this strategy. Talk about this video too if you like. We can use this. I hope you have a good time watching this video. Please subscribe to me. Also, if you see that notification bell, please hit it so you'll know when I have an upcoming video. I do videos on YouTube, and I also do videos on Black Junction TV. I will leave a link to a couple of different social media accounts that I have, so you can friend me or follow me. And hopefully you will continue to watch my videos or anything else that I post. And just remember to share this video. And I hope to see y'all on my next video. Thank you for your time. And have a nice day. Have a nice day. Or evening, if you're watching this in the dark.